It's about 22 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Now, the Inter-American Dialogue will host an event to promote climate justice change, and the EMAT, the Emergency Management Association of TNT, is going to be a part of this very, very global conversation. And so joining me this morning to talk more about it, we have founding member of the Emergency Management Association of TNT, Lisa Hensel, and founder and vice president of EMAT, Stacey-Ann P. Osaria. Ladies, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Welcome.
Thank you. Coming to you first, Stacey-Ann. Tell us about the Emergency Management Association of TNT, and even so, how is it involved in this dialogue?
Okay, so the Emergency Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago, EMAT, we are a civil society organization that has been registered and has met the requirements as an NGO. We have NGO status. And really and truly, our vision is to become the voice of emergency management for Trinidad and Tobago, where we will promote disaster risk reduction as part of the sustainable national development of the country. We were formed in 2019. Unfortunately, COVID would have, that word.
Yes.
Yeah, so it kind of hampered a lot of the plans that we had, but we're now eager and ready to ramp up our activities. And since 2019 to now, we've made small but considerable strides with collaborating, at the national level with ODPM, contributing to various workshops in policy and legislation. For the month of May this year, we collaborated with Cipriani College, where we put on a national webinar on flood mitigation. And this is our next project that we're happy to be part of, yeah.
Before we get into the details of that, though, I understand there's the Citizens Advisory Group. Can you tell us about that as well?
That's right. This is a big deal for us to be part of the Citizen Advisory Group because, as you would have mentioned, the Inter-American Dialogue, they have a program called the Energy Transition and Climate Justice, and under that program, they want to deepen collaboration among the Caribbean partners. They're developing partnerships. And what they will do is bring together 15 islands from the region. We assemble tomorrow at the Hyatt, where the Citizen Advisory Group is commissioned for its first meeting. And we will delve into policy formation that contributes towards the overall PAC 2030. And PAC 2030 is the Partnership to Address Climate Change 2030, which really is a flagship initiative by the Biden-Harris administration. And again, it's all contributing to policy formation, especially as it relates to a lot of the Citizen Advisory Group. The majority will be women, because in this area, there are a lot of inequalities where women are concerned and contributing, especially in disaster risk reduction. So the majority of the members coming together, and we have from Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Belize, Dominican Republic, I may have forgotten some, Guyana, but 15 of us will get together, majority women, and we will voice our opinions basically for marginalized groups in society, women, youth, farmers, indigenous people. So it's really wonderful that we are part of those discussions and that we sit there and Trinidad and Tobago is part of those discussions.
Of course. Lisa, piggybacking on what Stacey-Ann just said, because I know that she mentioned the women that are coming forward. Tell us about the importance of women in emergency management and risk reduction.
In emergency management, and actually in particular in disaster risk reduction, women play a key role. However, when the Sendai framework, which is one of the main conventions that is the emergency management is framed around, and strategic development, women and other vulnerable groups like children, the differently abled, the indigenous people, people of different sexual orientation, these different groups come together to form the weak part, the weaker part of these developmental strategies. And what has happened now that they have done a review, a mid-year review or a mid-term review with the Sendai framework that has actually pointed out that gender and these other, what we would call vulnerable groups, have not been included. And it's one of the places where there is a big gap with regards to their inclusion in this Sendai framework, which is our strategic development plan for the whole world with regards to disaster management, and us moving ahead with the times, now climate and all the rest of it. So what is happening is that they're trying to visit a way of getting women in particular, because it's a 50-50, male and female in the world right now, there must be a way of getting women to every level of that strategic development, from the leadership positions right down to consultation and members of the community taking part, as well as being victims. We need to start recognizing that women are the world. It's time for us to realize women are just as important as men, and in some cases a little more important, because we keep those wheels turning.
Of course, and this is a woman panel here, so of course we totally agree.
Yeah, know that.
1000%.
Yes.
But going back to something that Stacey Ann mentioned, we have all these countries convening in Trinidad for this big event that's happening tomorrow. What is the significance of having Trinidad at the forefront hosting the event this year? And anybody can take this question.
Well, besides EMAT, I'm representing EMAT, we also have the Cropper Foundation, who's also here in Trinidad, and we also have the Canary Caribbean Natural Resources Institute. Right. They will also be participating. So it's significant that the work that is involved in this topic being done at a local level, that we share our local experiences, that we give our local, scenarios, that we share all of that information, and we put it in a pot with all of the Caribbean to come up with this nice policy that is thoroughly represented by the Caribbean.
Interesting. I'm coming to you as well, Lisa, because the role that EMAT plays, I mean, I know you would have mentioned women being involved at every level, right, of the decision-making process, but talk to us about the importance of also having this, not just being an event tomorrow, but having it as a topic of conversation on a national level.
On a national level, we definitely need these conventions, these consultations, because it's all in the development process. And in Trinidad and Tobago, emergency management right now, we still haven't gotten, well, there is new legislation that we actually were part of that as well, the consultation for the new legislation that will be brought to Parliament, I'm hoping soon.
This legislation is what, Lisa?
With the disaster management legislation,
okay.
Yeah. It's there. I think they're probably just tidying it up right now, but we're waiting for it to be brought forward. Right. And all of these different conventions and projects that we take part in is part of our advocacy to show that disaster management really and truly is a very key part of sustainable development where our nation is concerned. Yeah. And until we start recognizing how important it is to be prepared, disaster risk reduction is a key for survival and us moving forward with as little impact as possible. And that's the key. It's going to happen, but the key to disaster risk reduction is to understand what is coming towards us, what is coming before us, take the precautions, mitigate, and get ourselves ready so that we can face the fire when it actually comes. All part of development in our nation, and all part of disaster management, which is my passion. We need to be prepared. Once again, EMAT is here to back up disaster risk reduction and advocate for key competencies nationwide, every level.
Stacey, and I have to ask you, the event that's happening, well, I know you want to piggyback off of that, but also too, tell us about the event tomorrow in terms of what we can see, because I know that Lisa was talking about that risk reduction.
Right.
Are we going to see tips in terms of flooding? Are we going to see tips in terms of, other natural disasters that we can mitigate against? So you can respond to that, but also tell us what we can see at the event tomorrow.
So definitely at the event tomorrow, I mean, I myself, I'm waiting to see how it unfolds, but basically this is just one meeting of several that the Citizen Advisory Group will participate in. So it's not just a one-off meeting, it's a series of meetings. And actually, as they would put it, we the 15 members of the Caribbean are taking ownership of the Citizen Advisory Group. Yeah. And after all those series of meetings where they will then take all the information, they will compile a final report, which we will then, the member islands will review and we will accept. And once that is done, of course, the outcomes of that, EMAT will definitely share at the national level. And furthermore, if there are any issues or if there are any projects that we see we can, because obviously there's the opportunity for networking with all the other islands,
Yes.
and projects that may have worked and been successful on their islands that we don't have, there's definitely possibilities of networking opportunities to bring that expertise here as well.
Yeah.
So both in the form of the final report and the outcomes of the Citizen Advisory Group that we will share nationally, and anything coming out of that that we can adopt nationally through the report as well as through the networking opportunities, you can be rest assured we're gonna make sure it happens. As Lisa said, EMAT really wants to be that voice for emergency management, and we want to be a partner, more so a very vocal and vibrant partner that will impact the culture of disaster risk reduction in Trinidad and Tobago, and we really need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the meeting that's happening tomorrow as well is not for the public, but it's more for the 15 countries who are
That's
meeting
right,
together.
that's right.
Before you go quickly, how can the average citizen get involved in risk reduction?
So first and foremost, you can simply go to emat.org, where you can sign up to become a member if you're interested in volunteering. You know, I strongly believe that we're here to give back. We're not only here to receive what we can, but we should give back. And our country's at a state right now where we need citizens to step up and not only volunteer in EMAT, but volunteers in ways that you can make a small but, you know, concrete step in helping our community, helping your community that benefits you and benefits the generations to come. So they can sign on to EMAT as a member, and we'll be happy to welcome with open arms.
Yeah.
We're so excited about building the membership.
Of course. Well, ladies, let me thank you so much for joining us this morning. All the best at the work that you're going to do. And I look forward to that report, because I anticipate some exchange of information is going to be happening tomorrow.
For sure,
that I
for
think
sure.
that can affect all of us here in TNT and the rest of the region. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Kimberly,
Thank you
so
for
much for
having
having us.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And of course, that was Ms. Lisa Hensel, founding member of EMAT, and also Stacey P. Osaria, who is the founder and vice president of EMAT, just sharing that very, very important meeting that's happening tomorrow as the countries come together to see how we can make a dent with climate change. In the Now Morning Show, we're going to take a break and be right back. Stay with us.
Mother Earth is bright.